So this morning, my sister called me on WhatsApp, and I was like, "Why are you calling me?" And she's like, "Well, because if I send you a text message, you will not reply. I sent you text message since yesterday, and you still not replied." And then she goes further to say, "I'm sure your friends will soon get tired of you of not replying their messages, and when it's time for you to get married, you'll be looking for people that will join you as your big gang." And as funny as that sounded, there was a bit of truth in it, because I have not been the best friend. I have not even been a good friend when it comes to a lot of things. There are a lot of mistakes I've made as regards friendship that I know I need to work on ASAP so as not to lose my friends, because I love my friends so much. Yes, if you're my friend, I love you so much. So I know there are a lot of mistakes I've made that I need to correct ASAP. Now I've been working on some of them, but I still need to do more. And one thing I realized about friendship is that it's very different from when we're children. When we're children, it was very easy to have 20, 30, 40 friends, and all of you are good, right? Because there was not so much in your life. It was just, oh, school, church, house, you played together, and that was it. But growing up, there are a lot of things. You get to work, you're not in the same space. You guys are now far from each other. You are busy. Life is happening to you. Everything is, and so you have to be like, it's a lot of intentionality to actually keep your friendships. And so today I just want to really discuss mistakes I've made as regards friendship, and how I want to do better going forward. And I feel like, just in case you are out there and you are watching and you also feel like your friendships are not really working for you, I feel like this is a video you need to watch, because many times we tend to blame the other party and not look within to see the mistakes or the things we're actually not doing right. Okay, so if you feel like this video is something you really want to watch, please sit down, get popcorn, get drink, and all of those things, and watch me talk. And please, if you're yet to subscribe, yeah, my name is Ifeoluwa Oni, aka Ifeoluwa the YouTuber, just in case you're seeing me for the first time. And if you're yet to subscribe, please do how to subscribe. If you have any comments, please, I would really advise, or I would really beg or implore you to actually leave comments. Let me know what's up. Let me know if these are mistakes you've also made, and let me know how you've been able to get through them. Let me know some of the mistakes you've made that I didn't mention as well, and you could even just call out your friends and publicly apologize and declare to do better. So yes, without further ado, let's jump right in. Let's jump right in. All right, so the first thing I'm going to be talking about is not being intentional enough. Now, I sort of mentioned it at the beginning. This is something I know. I'm the kind of person that if we are together, like let's say we meet out, we go out and we meet each other, we can actually talk and gist for a long while. But when we are not together, it's very difficult for me to check up, very difficult for me to call, very difficult for me to send text messages, very difficult for me to, have conversations, except maybe like on some occasions. And to be honest, this is very bad. To be honest, this is very bad. If you claim that somebody's your friend, you have to be very intentional. It's just like you are in a relationship, and the only time you guys talk is when you guys see each other. That relationship is going nowhere. Right. So this is something I need to learn. I need to take my friendships like that important. And even with family members as well. It is like, how will I put it? It's like this out of sight, out of mind. You're not necessarily out of my mind, but I'm just not acting like you're in my mind. Do you get right? So I need to like be more intentional about reaching out to my friends. If I say you're my friend, I mean I need to show it, right? So if you're like me and you've not been so intentional about calling and sending text messages to your friend and just knowing things that are going on in their lives at that moment, then we need to do better. We should. So you guys, the next thing I'm talking about is, which is closely related to the first, is waiting for my friends to reach out first. So this happens when I'm feeling guilty. Maybe I feel like I've not reached out to this person in a while, and then I'm like in my head, why have I not reached out? I should actually reach out. Then something else in my head comes and says, why did the person not reach out to me too? She be the person to, I'm the person's friend, so why did the person not reach out to me too? And I feel like that just happens because I'm trying to, how do I put it? I don't want to feel too guilty that I'm the bad friend. So I want to feel like, okay, well, it takes two to tango. which it actually does. But then, to be honest, when it comes to intentionality, you don't always have to wait for the next person to do something. I feel like when just the way the Bible talks about the fact that if a woman marries a man who is not a believer, by her actions, right, she can bring him into the faith. So it's just like that. If you feel like you're being intentional, just keep at it, keep checking up, keep calling, keep suggesting hangouts and all of those things. And after a while, it will take the person will also realize that I feel like it's this person that is doing too much in this relationship. I'm not doing so much. And then by your actions, you actually bring the person up in doing some of those things. So not that my friend is not the first person to reach out, or that my friend is also not reaching out, is not enough reason for me to not reach out. I mean, if I call you my friend, if I call you, like if I say you are somebody I want to build something with, then I should be willing to actually make sacrifices, whether or not, I can see you putting effort. Now it's different. Maybe the person is not putting effort for a long time and you're always putting effort, and you've brought it to the person's face over and over again. Then maybe the person is not, how will I put it? Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the best to give advice as friendship, but always telling myself that my friends are also not reaching out is not enough to not reach out. So this is one thing I want to do. I want to stop giving myself that excuse of should be my friends have also not reached out to me. I start reaching out to them. So that's number two. So another thing I'll talk about is the fact that I've not been so vulnerable. Right, I've not been, like, I can be going through a lot, and I mean a lot, and I would not say anything to my friends, and I'll just expect them to, just why don't you know that I'm going through something? What's up? How are you doing? I'm fine. I'm fine. And then I keep it in mind. Maybe something happens in future, and then in my head, well, I went through a lot of things and you also didn't know about it, so don't blame me for not knowing about what you were going through. It's very bad, very bad. If you are going through stuff, I feel like it's important to talk. We are adults. The person is also going through a lot. So if you don't talk, the person, how do you expect the person to actually know that they're going through a lot? Right? So if I decide not to be vulnerable and not talk about it, it's my loss. Right? It's my loss. It's not like I decided to talk and the person was not offering me listening ears. It's my loss for not saying anything to the person. Right? So when the person comes to me to tell me something, I should actually pay attention, like put out my ears to listen, right? So I've learned that for friendships to work, you have to be vulnerable. Both parties actually need to be vulnerable. Talk about things that maybe you might not be necessarily comfortable talking about. I feel like that's how the friendship can become even more deep and more. That's how you guys can become more close, because now you guys are wow. So I feel like the best thing is just somebody does something to you you don't like, go ahead to say it. Like just let the person know in the best way possible that you did this to me and I don't like it. And that way the person will not do that thing to you again. Because when the person is about to do it, the person will remember that, oh, if I actually said she didn't like this thing. But you did, the person did something, you did not tell the person. The person now does the go, you're now vexing. It happens to me so much. If you can relate, let me know. So um I feel like that's something that needs to work on. And that's just one aspect. Another aspect is the person is doing something, maybe not to you, but the person is just maybe making a decision that is not good, or doing something that you feel like is going to, on the long run, affect the person. But because, you don't want to be that friend that will point out the negative things, so you keep it to yourself, you're actually not being a good friend. And I'm talking to myself. You have to actually, when you see your friend taking a part that the person should not be taking, just go ahead to say it. Yes, the person might not like it at that moment, the person might not want to agree at that moment, but in the long run the person will have you to thank, because the person will remember that, oh, it was this person that saved me from this thing, or it was this person that told me. Or even if the person goes ahead to do it, when it happens the person will remember that, yes, Ife actually told me, now me no listen. Unlike you watched your friend go into it but you didn't say anything about it. So I want to start having those kind of hard conversations. I don't like having hard conversations, but something my business is teaching me is hard conversations have to be hard. Hard conversations have to be hard. You get it. All right. So the next thing I'm talking about is something that I think has been with me since I was a child, and I feel like has affected or has the capacity to affect friendships. Yes, and that is getting hurt and not talking about it. So I'm this kind of person that you will do something to me and I will not say anything. You will not know you did anything to me. Right? Why? Because in my head, what if I confront this person and then I say something that this person does not like, and then this person also does not feel good? Instead of making this person not feel good, why don't I just keep it to myself and allow it to pass? And yes, as much as it's going to pass, I feel like in the long run, it's going to have an effect on that friendship. Yes, because you begin to, without knowing, keep things in mind. And one day the person will just do something very smart and you pour out everything. Or the person will tell you about something you did to the person, and in your head, but you have been doing so many things to me that I've not been talking about. Please, I beg. And so it won't allow you to actually take correction to what that person has actually said. Another point I would like to bring up is having too many friends and not being able to fit them into your plan, or not being able to check up on them as much. And this is something that I feel like has passed. Now, like I don't have so many friends again, so it's not like I have so many people to keep tabs on, right? But at a point in my life, I used to have a lot of people in my corner, and it was so hard, such that when you finally reach out to the person's like, actually, you have forgotten me. Yeah, can you go? And the first few hours, you're using it to mend all the broken parts, right? But when you have, now I'm not saying don't know too many people, you can know a lot of people, but just keep them in, have grades. So there are people that you know that these are your best buddies. There are people that you know that yes, these are my close people, that if I need something, I can run to them. Like now, if I want to do a show B, these people will come through and all of those things, right? But just know where people stand in your life. That way you are able to know the amount of energy to give to that person and the amount of energy to also expect from that person. So now this morning when I was trying to like, work on my content, work on what I wanted to talk about today, I remembered something that actually has been on my mind for a while. So there's this friend I had back in 2019, 2020. I don't want to say hard because oh my god, it sounds like it has ended. But no, I don't want to. I'm very serious. So we used to be very close. And the one thing I really loved about our friendship was the fact that we were not in the same space, especially in 2020 because of COVID. But we were still so close. Like every other day we were talking. Like every 1 in 2 days, if not every day, we were always talking, having long calls, having long conversations, chatting, and so many things. And then I think in 2022 or so, I don't know, but things just, we didn't have a fallout, we didn't have an argument, but it's like things just died down. And I know that they say yes, some friendships are just for a particular phase, but no, I don't want to come to terms with that fact. It pains me to see that we don't really talk. We don't talk anymore. Maybe I should not sing this song in that day. We don't talk anymore. If you're watching this video, we don't talk anymore like we used to do. Please forgive my voice. Forgive my voice. Thank you. But really, that pained me so much. And I don't know how do you do it. That time when people were talking about friendship breakfast, that, I was like, I cannot relate. I've not had any friendship breakfast. Yes, I've had friends that we don't talk again as much, but this particular friendship, it pained me. I'm trying to give different excuses, like, okay, maybe it's supposed to pass. But no, it's not supposed to. Mm. If you have been in that situation, what did you do? What did you do about it? So I'll say that's majorly the mistakes I can remember now. The fact that I've not been very intentional about checking up on my friends or about knowing what's going on in their life. It's like we just know surface level things about what's going on in our lives. And that's not friendship, for being honest. The fact that I don't like to like open up. I'm not vulnerable enough to open up to about what's going on with me. Or sometimes I'm just waiting for the person to, come and just know that something is going on with me and ask, "Who you help, Joe? Who you help?" Yeah. But adults, just guys have that conversation. I mean, so yeah, basically. This is a video like where I'm publicly calling out myself, and you can also publicly call out yourself and just make amends and tell yourself, okay, yes, Ifeoluwa, you have to do better. Now, what are the things you can do better? feel like that should be a video for another day. Maybe when I call somebody, maybe somebody else and I just sit down together and talk about things you can actually do to make your friendships better, especially in these 20 something years of our lives. This phase is just a whole new level, right? So maybe I just call somebody and we'll just talk about things we can do better to actually make our friendships work better. I think that would be because I don't want this video to be very long. So yeah, guys, I've come to the end of this video. Please leave a comment, engage this video as much as possible, like this video, share with your friends. That's the first step to making your friendships better. Share with them, let them also watch and do better. All right, so thank you very much for watching, guys.
And it's a wrap.
Finally. Wow, today again.
Wow.
What was not recording?
20% low battery. I don't know when it stopped. It was still
Jesus
recording actually.
Christ.
But I can see the timer. The timer is counting, so it was still recording.
Never. So you guys have been talking for almost how many minutes now, and we just realized it was. These are some of the things that we content creators go through. But people will see 1 minute video and just like it is 1 minute. It's not all the hours that I've gone behind it. This is when I'm just cleaning my tears.